hard.
Right. Okay, we good, Shauna. Recording in progress. Okay, well, let's call this together, this meeting to order. I don't see our chaplain. Anybody else got a few words of wisdom they wouldn't mind sharing with the rest of us? I turn my phone down.
Brother Willie.
No. No. No.
I'm not good at the prayer thing. So
Yeah.
Miss Lynette is, she did it today at the union meeting.
Oh, this is.
Yep.
Do you mind, Miss Lynette?
With that being said, I can do this today.
Okay, that'd be nice.
Okay, Heavenly Father, we come before you today, this evening, with true honor and grace to the Most High. I come before you hoping that you give us a very clear and productive meeting tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Where's my what's the name? So minutes. Okay, we have the minutes. If you saw them through your email. Turn the TV off. Questions, concerns, motions about the previous minutes?
I move that we accept the minutes as read with proper additions and corrections if necessary.
Second.
There is a motion to accept the minutes, any necessary corrections, properly second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Frank, your background.
Oh, still can't get it.
Here we go. Properly second. All in favor of said motion signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Now it's my time. Basically, a lot of what I got said we'll be discussing under actually old business because that information was included in the mailing that the recording secretary sent out. As far as it relates to the University of Michigan and Marriott, we can discuss that under new old business because that's all ongoing old business. For those, there were, let me switch so I can share, take the, we had, let me switch back. Sorry, I have stuff on. Share screen, share this, share. I don't know, this is the, we collected $300 and this is the flower arrangement for Cabanita. I took this picture myself. I attended, me and Tony was at the services, the funeral actually, and pretty nice. And he also spoke on behalf of General Motors since that was Cabanita's local and representative of us. So there's no need for both of us to speak. And so I had collected $300 and it was $240.50 for the flowers, which left a balance of $59.50. And since it was all donation, I would take a recommendation on what to do with the remaining balance. There was one suggestion that, we just put that into our coffers as opposed to doing anything else with it. I also was able to change the rest of the colors to the logo that we selected. This is the end product. If you got any issues with it, let me know. If not, this is it. We're done. We're moving forward. Stop sharing.
Hey, send that to me, Phil.
Will. Go back to my other. Oops, oh, not that. I think that's all that I want to discuss on my report, if I remember correctly. Let me see. Yeah, so basically that's all I got under my report, because the mass majority of the other stuff we will be talking about under old business. So
Can you put the local back up there?
sure.
Okay.
And I got no secretary sitting here next to me, so chill out. Here is the logo. Just with the color combination that we wanted.
Okay.
Yeah. That was what I suggested, voted on, and boom, boom. This is what we ended up with for the conference. Yeah, so this is the conference logo. So we got the organization logo, which is behind me, and this is the conference logo. So.
Okay.
Yep.
I move that we take the excess money from the donation for the flowers and put that into the general fund.
Support.
Support.
All right, there is a motion to put the remaining banners from the monies collected for the flowers for Cabanita to the general fund. Probably second. I'm not gonna ask for discussion. All
I
in
have a
favor,
question.
signify.
I have a question.
Yes,
I'm sorry. Can I ask that it's designated for a benevolent fund, or so that next time we'll have a start if anything happens for anyone else, and not just going to the general fund, but it's line item for another occasion
agree.
such as this.
Concur.
Wait a minute, Kathy, we ain't got that stuff broke up like that. I got it in a coffee can.
Well, you can put a special color top on it. Know that it's just for the.
How much was that, Phil? 59.10?
60, 50,
Huh?
50, 59.10, 5950.
Okay. So, and what's that big word you just used, Kathy? The what? fund?
Benevolent fund.
fund.
Okay, petty cash.
And kick the bucket fund.
Right, I can't spell that.
How
Flower
about good
fund. that's what we
welfare
call it.
fund? Good welfare fund.
All right. I can relate with that one.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a motion on the floor. Are we gonna withdraw that, or is this part of the discussion on how that works?
You just amended out.
I
It
withdraw
would need to be a friendly amendment.
I withdraw my motion.
Okay.
Don't withdraw, just a friendly amendment.
Just amend
Well-
Amended to the
in a
benevolent fund.
Flower fund.
Okay, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, all right, well then he accepts the friendly amendment so we can move forward. So there is a motion to, I'm doing it the Eclipse version, to take the remaining balance and put it into a coffee can, i.e. a benevolent fund, i.e. Good and welfare can for future that I hope we never have to use then, if that's the case. Inside of the general fund. All in favor, said most to signify by aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thank you very much.
And I move that we accept the color changes and the final version of the logo.
Second.
There is a motion and properly second to accept the final version of said logo. All in favor said logo signify by aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried. I'm not doing this no more.
Now I move that we accept the president's report.
Thank you very much. There's a second. There's a motion to accept my brief report. Properly second. All in favor said motion signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thank you very much. I love you guys.
Okay, I hope that was everything.
That was all in that that brief thing. Share it. Okay, no, I'm not trying to share no more. Okay. Okay, what I got going on next? What's next? Nope, I don't want to share. What is the close button? There we go. Okay, now I can get back to my regular agenda. President report. Financial report.
Good afternoon. Well, as of today, we have $1,281.95 without the flower fund. So I don't know, you want me to add that in or when I get it?
Because I had not sent that to you, so,
Right, so that's why I say as of today,
okay.
$1,281.95. Do your job, Walt.
I move to accept make a motion, move to accept the financial report as said.
Second.
There's a motion to accept the financial report, properly second. Any discussion under the motion?
Yeah, I want to know what color is this? How big is this coffee can? That's what I need to know.
That is not under the motion that Walt, so you out of.
Hopefully it won't be big enough. It's a coffee cup right now because it ain't that much money.
Hey, this is discussion, Mr. Hall. So
Yeah.
I want to discuss this. I just have to make sure that it is where it's supposed to be and how big it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
As they said before, hopefully it won't get that big. So it's a little coffee cup right now.
Woo.
Aye.
So, any more discussion? I got stuck on the coffee can. I'm just like, okay. Wait.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So,
Is there some dues coming up for dues?
any more discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Is there any dues going to be coming due soon?
Aye.
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 Motion
The answer
carried.
the answer to that, Brother Linnell had is what, the first of the year? He said when the next due is coming. So what, December, January?
Yeah, December. December. But you can pay them now if you want to.
Right,
Yeah.
times two.
Yeah. 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 You don't have to wait to December.
My apologies for being late. I'm at work, guys.
Okay.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, thank you. So now we have committee reports, media outreach, media outreach. So I don't know, Dana's gonna do whatever he has to do as once he get the logo.
Good afternoon, everybody. We just got the colors flipped around to what the members approved of, and now I can get to work on a brief introduction commercial for the group, for the organization rather. So I'll try to I'll have my guy try to do 2 different ones, but once they come out, there'll be no editing. You just have to start from scratch. So hopefully you guys will like what'll be put out. It's previous pictures from past conferences without any University of Michigan in them. So I think a couple of pictures, Willie, you're in them. I think there's a couple of pictures with, I don't have any of Corey. There might be one of dude in Texas there. What was his name? Cleo, sorry. And a few others from previous conferences, but we Phil looked at some, I looked at some, and we tried to pick out the ones that had made sure there was no reference of University of Michigan in them. So it will be a select few. There might be a repeat of a few people, but that's what we got to work with. So there you go. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Is there any coordinator on, what is that? That's Corey, Leo, Gordon. Let me know that he wasn't going to be able to make it today. He's doing some family business things, but can be related. Contacted by text if need be. So is there, oh, I'm not looking. Okay, well, anyway, moving on. Can I get a motion to accept
A motion to
report?
accept the report. That's it.
Support.
Support.
All righty, there's a motion to accept the media outreach report. Probably second. All in favor of said motion signify by aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Okay, under old business, I hope everybody had an opportunity to look at the latest information I had Shauna sent out, our recording secretary, about as far as how it relates to what's going on with the EMU and the Marriott. And we have another meeting with them for greater details, but it was after this meeting. So this was like the latest and greatest information to date. And you know, we were talking about force majeure insurance. And on that last conversation I had with them, I let them know that I would just not, you know, I was real adamant that we were not going to sacrifice all our profits just to satisfy them. So it needed to be, if we're going to put up funds, they need to put up funds after money had been received, you know, so I was okay with that. The other part of it was that the liability, and again, we have to look at that responsibility, whether it's going to be 50-50 or whatever the case may be, and you know, putting up X amount of dollars on both sides. And so looking further into this force majeure insurance, which is basically act of God. My point is, you know, it's my rationale behind what could be is that if we got insurance in case something goes wrong with the conference, then what is the concern about putting up funds, you know, on either side? You know, there shouldn't be an issue as far as that is concerned. So you know, this is kind of like my Cliff Note version of, you know, my interpretation of what was going on, but I still want to have, you know, feedback from you know, everybody from the board, you know, looking at this and, you know, where we're gonna move forward. Because I do want to, I was having a conversation with somebody else and I was just saying that I did not just see this as an organization where we just are always saddled to another university, college, or whatever the case may be, that at some point that we could actually break out on our own and do the whole, you know, the whole conference, you know, itself, you know, kind of like with Skip and Elise done, you know, to break out and, you know, and with me and Kathy working on this other organization, you know, we gaining some insight that would be better, very useful to us in the future, you know, so. But I'm just opening up this part of old business, you know, for discussion, you know, because I'm hoping that you all took a look at this and got some kind of feedback that we can use in upcoming meetings. The other thing that I will add to that is that we decided to, because the number was so high before, was take the amount of participants and bring it down as far as scheduling with the hotel, bring it down to a low number and then up the number as people register and so forth. That way, the initial responsibility is lower. But if somebody else got something bright and genius to say, I'm willing to hear it, so that we can feedback, because this is like our future bread and butter,
So the EMU asked us to pay for some insurance against any malady that might happen with the conference. So if we pay it, they're the ones that get paid if something happens where the insurance has to be enacted.
The initial conversation was not us or them, it was a joint. So otherwise, we would take the money out of, let's say, we got all the thinking was that we take all the money from getting participants to pay for the food ahead of time, and then we could use that to pay for deposits and pay for the insurance and of like that. And we have not discussed how the split would go as far as if something happened where conference couldn't come on. That was the initial conversation. So none of this stuff is written down, but these are just conversations that we're having with them. But once I started looking at the force majeure insurance, I'm just like, okay, well, why are we concerned about who pays what?
I
Question.
have a question. So we've done a lot of stuff with that hotel with other organizations. I don't ever remember having to have insurance. Having said that, we are in a age of COVID. So if the numbers were high enough where that would cancel the conference, they don't still expect to be paid. Is there a clause in there that protects us for that?
There was previously. So I can't say that it's still there since, we had started opening back up. There was a clause as far as not losing money, but you're not getting any money back. So it went towards a future conference.
Okay.
But that was previously.
Question, Phil.
Yeah, go ahead.
You say insurance, and I'm not caught up. So what type of insurance this is?
Force majeure insurance is basically act of God.
I mean, as in what? If the building gets, I don't understand. The hotel has insurance or act of God or what? If lightning strikes the building, the hotel, or what? That's
No, well, if the conference is canceled, for like whatever reason, maybe the numbers are not high enough, whatever the case may be, then there is a X amount of dollars. Now, based on the previous numbers that we had applied, that could be as high as $110,000. That would still be that they would be looking for.
I'm not comfortable with that.
But that's the reason why we're not comfortable with what part?
With having to owe them whether we have a conference or not. I mean, is there like a deadline by a certain date or?
right. We gotta have a cancellation thing, just like anything. If it's 90
Like I
days
said,
out.
I've
30
dealt
days.
with them. We never had that, and we were throwing New Year's Eve parties. So if anything could have gone wrong, it would have been there. This is an educational event.
I understand.
Anything short of us just not having it, so they just want to be guaranteed a certain amount, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That just is to give you a prime example of what happened is when CBTU got sued for canceling the conference in Arizona because of the bills that they paid, and Bill Lucy paid that out of his pocket. It was over $100-some-thousand.
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying, just because it's educational doesn't mean it may have been in the contract, but nobody wasn't. If you're not concerned about it, under normal circumstances, if it hadn't been for my interpretation, if it hadn't been for the pandemic, I don't believe we would be having this conversation.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
My apologies, Phil.
Yeah, no
Where are we
problem.
at?
We're just discussing the TAP and the conversation we've had with Eastern and the hotel, and I was explaining to them about the force majeure insurance, and my feelings is that if we have this insurance, then why are we concerned about who puts up what as far as deposits, those type of things. So, it replies back with like, how much would we need? So we would know if we were at the 100 and the 400 number, that brought it down to us having a $110,000 commitment with the hotel. So that's where we were at with that. And then, we're just basically just discussing it. So, but Kathy has her hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to suggest that, I don't know if any of you are close enough to Ed McNeil to talk to him about having a conversation with the hotel or any of the negotiations because of his involvement in the past and his knowledge of negotiating and knowing that kind of information. Because we are separated now from U of M, they may want to throw these monkey wrenches in there that are not necessary. Just a suggestion to talk to ask his opinion or bring him in on this. The other part of it is because we are a separate entity now and not affiliated with the school, and working with Morehouse College and knowing the changes that they're putting them through, they're only doing this. I think they put more pressure on us because we are separated from U of M now, and not having that college support for the hotel. I'm just thinking that's the reason why they're putting this pressure on us. But again, I'm repeating myself, but because I'm really encouraging you to have a conversation with Ed about the insurance and the need for it for what we're trying to do at the hotel.
Right. Yeah. And I have no problem, communicating with Ed. With my conversation that I've had with, what is her name? Jenny? I think it's Jenny at the hotel. They're actually bending over backwards for us to have it as opposed to University of Michigan. So it's just, I don't know. I guess they still want to protect their back because a lot of the stuff that's in the previous contracts that we looked at was actually a higher cost for the University of Michigan. So, but that's where we at with that. Frank?
Two-parter. How much is the insurance?
I have no idea. It's got to be cheaper than $100,000.
Okay, and what's our minimum? Like, what we gotta what do we have to offer them and say we having a minimum of 100 people to have, and we can always go up? Is it a minimum?
Yeah. So actually, that's what they're. I believe it's Wendy. I've been bad with names, but the Eastern that are in communication with the hotel, they lowered the initial to like maybe 150 or something like that. And I guess it's supposed to be another contract that me, Tony, and Gordon is supposed to meet back with them later. Part of that was sent out. It had a draft of the budget for 2022, and it had the figures in there for the lower number as opposed to the higher amount.
Phil, if I could, we didn't want to get caught in the trick bag on the lowest amount, which was 100 and some change, because that's not our break-even point. So you want it to be at least the break-even point at about 225, because let's say we got booked and we said, all right, for 150 people, right? And COVID does what COVID does, but we could actually get 150 people in there, then we'd be stuck and we'd have to be committed at the 150 point. We'd have to have the conference there. So we want to not have the lowest amount, because we did ask about that. They brought up, you want it at the break-even point.
This is the number of people or number of rooms?
Participants.
People.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how?
Because the rooms were tied. The rooms were tied to to the participant, not so much to the to Common Ground. I mean, there were X amount with it, but they had did the original budget where we were covering all the rooms, that was never going to happen. So.
So we're saying that it's gonna be 225 people that would have to break even with the hotel or with the university.
University.
That's how much per
So
person.
how can we put that number and we don't even have a cost per participant?
We do have it based on last conference's number.
Yeah, we were using the
Okay.
560. 500 for the conference, 60 for the meals. We based it on that.
Okay.
How,
But what
I don't
happened to
wanna come in-
us taking like, what was supposed to be our split with Eastern? We had talked about, I know, months ago, that they were gonna,
They get
We were gonna-
35% of all monies collected.
how much?
35% of all monies collected.
We were supposed to get that.
They get 35% of all monies
Okay.
collected. Then out of the remaining 75% is used for to pay the hotel and, you know, and whatever else we need. And then the balance that's left over would come back to us.
So our 65% has to pay for the AV and all that stuff,
Everything,
pretty much.
everything.
And 225 would be the break-even point? Cause it seemed like that number seemed a little off because, you know, Michigan wasn't giving us nothing. So how can we really even judge what was Michigan doing? You know, not trying to talk about y'all numbers, but you know what I'm saying? Michigan, we don't know what they were doing with the money. So
Michigan, we didn't get any of the money with Michigan, right?
Right.
In this, we're getting something back.
let me, can I, okay, I don't want to come in 11th hour and I'm surely not trying to change anything, but I just want you all to think about that because I know the problems that was going on with the money. $560 was paying for salaries, paying for benefits and everything else. So with this being your first conference, do you want to start out the same way that U of M was jacking us for? That's $600. The other part of it is, do you want to start out charging people for the meals? That was always a major issue. And they jacked their price up to $60 a person for meals. And there was always an issue at the registration table. Why do I have to pay for these meals? Is that something you want to, and I'm just putting it out there to think about, is that something you want to start doing?
And yeah, and to respond to that, I don't think we ever actually, I think we just did that just to base on numbers. You know, just have a figure to work with. Because I don't think we actually even had that conversation as far as, you know, should we do a lower meals included type thing? Because if the meals is included, then you don't have a problem with the tap aspect of it because we're not charging for meals.
Hey, Phil, can I chime in?
Other than extra. So, yeah, go ahead, Dana. I think.
That proposal that you sent out last year, it had like a breakdown of food and the different costs. And I know you had committees associated with it because I know I was on that committee. And just a rough, I remember roughly, depending on what you want and how it's structured, as far as meals, you could be looking at more than $60. I think I calculated somewhere around like 75, 80. Their prices were a little higher, but we also kind of got to consider now the price of food has even gone up even more now. You can see that just going to the grocery store. But I imagine if we revisit that, which I'm willing to do, that cost may be a lot higher. So I don't know how we're going to finagle that all together or separate, but that could be an issue going forward because everything has gone up. And I imagine the cost of how they were wanting to do food is going to go up too. I don't have what you had sent out earlier, but I know I have it. But
yeah, I'm sure that's
just want to bring that to note to everybody that more than likely the food is more expensive than when I did a rough estimate because I was almost at $80. But some other conferences, if the food is good, some people don't mind paying it. Not everybody can maybe foot that, but some people don't mind if the food is good. So.
Oh, if I could, we ran into a big price or problem with the University of Michigan and the cost of food, right? And tuition assistance, technically, I believe, and I might be incorrect, but what I can remember is we had to charge for food and you couldn't offset it, or that's the problem that we're having with Roland, with mixing and mingling tuition assistance, paying for food, right? That's why we had to pay for it on the side. So they are getting their bang for their buck for $60. Actually, we know that the food is very expensive, but Eastern Michigan isn't aware of the whole TAP situation and food. So I think we're getting away with something for having that price offset with TAP.
Frank, you got your hand up again, or?
Yep. I learned how to work this stuff now, man.
Okay.
So, well, I remember we talked before. So just say if we run it with 560, U of M is supposed to get 35% of the 500, and the 60 is supposed to be separate, correct? Or was it 560 plus 60 for food?
35% of all monies collected.
Oh, even the food money. I thought before we were trying to.
35% of all monies collected.
Okay.
Let me say it again. 35% of all monies collected.
All right. Let me hold that. Let me calculate and I'll be back.
I
Yeah.
suggest that you all talk about the monies before you go back to Michigan or before you go back to U of M, Eastern, because I want to say it without saying it. You don't have to, the tuition money that they were getting at U of M didn't have to be negotiated the way that it was negotiated. Okay. But I don't want you to go to Michigan and back to Eastern and say something and then get caught up, or even with the tuition assistance. You gotta be careful as to how you negotiate that and how it's worded. Because you're right, the tuition assistance does not pay for meals, but they will pay for registration for the conference. But how are you gonna give that much money to Eastern? That's a lot of money to say they want 35% of everything that you make. What about all the extra raffles and all that kind of stuff? They get 35% of that too?
35% of all money they collect. So if they collect, the raffles, it's no way they're getting that because they're not collecting it. We doing that. But what I'm saying is, so registration, anything that's paid to them, directly, they get 35%.
Okay.
Now, and I try to say, let's collect the food money ourselves, blah, 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 blah. But I was outvoted on that one there. So, but
Because that's surely what I was getting ready to say. Can we just collect it ourselves?
the body did not want that. Just keep it simple, let it go through them.
The tuition
Well, not-
assistance will definitely have to go to the school though.
Yeah. But why would we give?
Well, they're
35%?
not doing the food, so why do they get the money for the food? I don't understand. I'm confused.
Because they're acting as fiduciary, so they're paying all the bills.
And they know you're collecting it. I mean, if you put it out there that we're getting $500 for tuition and $60 for meals, they know that there's an extra $60 per person coming from somewhere.
Tony,
But if you only got $60 and you give them 35% of that, that means you're actually trying to feed people on less, which means I can unlike that meal already from here.
Tony,
A couple of things. We talked about this initially, right? So this is an 11th hour thing. We left the University of Michigan with $0, none. Year after year, our conference made them a lot of money, and year after year, it disappeared in thin air, and they couldn't justify it. And what they did was turned around and said, you can't have the conference you want and deliver the conference you want. So, and we're still going to take everything, every dime, every nickel every penny that we made off your conference, right? And then they told us we can't have the conference we want. So, this is a one-time thing, first year, and whatever it looks like, that's fine. After a year, we can reevaluate the second we're done with this conference. But what are we going to have at the end of this conference? Bare minimum, a conference we want, ran by us the way that we want it, that we know is most effective. Worst case scenario, we have the same thing at the end of this conference that we had with the University of Michigan. Nothing. Best case scenario, we fill it the way that we know we can, and we walk away with something that we can build on the conference the next year. And ultimately, if it's successful the way that we know it can be, we can build a big bank and hopefully start our own education, entity and do it our damn selves, get accredited and run the whole thing ourselves and then take in 100% of it, right? So is it ideal? No. Is it a leap of faith? Yes. But it's still better than having Roland sit there and not give us what we know we deserve, is just my take on it.
Frank?
That's
Right.
well said. Well said.
No, I
Right.
had to get off the mute. Look, not trying to beat a dead horse. So now I was just breaking down the thing. So all money collected, and I still think that is a great idea. I know I missed a couple of months. I know y'all could be rolling y'all eyes like, don't come in on with that. But the $60 is a good thing for us to collect ourselves if possible. But if they did collect it, we'll have off 225, we'll have like 82 grand for us to, so we out of the 82 grand, that's our 65% of all monies collected off of 225 people. We would have to pay for food, AV, and what else? Right off the top of your head. Food, I know AV, they already try to charge an arm and a leg. Food, and anything else?
Hotel rooms.
We don't pay for hotel rooms. Do we?
For the staff, unless you're gonna have the staff get their own.
Okay. Well, I mean, saying, okay. But that's what I'm looking at. Of 225 people, we'll have about $82,000. That's our 65% cut.
Copies.
So I was saying, so Eastern is not doing any of that? They're not
What about-
doing any mailers? They're not doing copies or anything?
Signage.
Yeah, they are doing some of the, well, supposedly, like I said, we do not have a signed contract, so everything is just verbal conversations right now. But yeah, they would do the brochure and that kind of stuff, and help promote it as well. But again, these are things that we have to discuss. So we have a clear understanding, what our objective is. So Linnell.
Is it possible, because that 82,000 is certainly that's a nice amount of money, but without all being blinded right now with all the other things that will have to be paid, could we do some fundraising to help kind of curb some of this here costs that would be kind of help fray it? In other words, kind of cushion it for us. We're doing the different like the icebreaker, coming in with icebreaker, or any kind of in between far as on the food to kind of help us kind of fray that cost. Make sure we have in other words, cushion it with a fundraiser to help with not being caught, over with an overhead later on.
Well, Linnell, I did ask, despite when it came through to that, we may have to come up with some funds to, for the initial deposit. And, and I came in and said that, I would, loan the organization $5,000 towards that. Then Tony came right behind me and matched that. But then there were other suggestions to do some fundraiser. And, and if we could do that to help offset initial deposits, that would make it easier on us, in the beginning. And then hopefully all goes well, and then what's left over before that, we wouldn't have to worry about future conference. So I personally game for any kind of fundraiser we could do, especially in the early stages, to help offset any money that we might have to outlay.
Hey, Phil,
Yes, sir.
has there been any conversations reaching out to, we'll just say like Tony's local, sorry, Tony, just using you as an example, or any other leadership as far as donations at this point that you know of, Gordon has done or anything of that nature?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. I have not, because we didn't even have a logo, and I'm just like, we didn't even have a logo for the organization. So hopefully we can start putting those type of things together and maybe get some intent letters, so hopefully. Who was that had the hand up? Gerald, was it you, Gerald? Kathy? Kathy?
Yeah, I was trying to find the mute button.
Oh,
Has it been determined that the conference, that you are going to have a conference at Eastern Michigan University?
yes, because the date, I don't know if you were on that call, there was we had proposed the original date in February. And we contacted the hotel, actually Eastern contacted the hotel, and they came back and said that date had been booked. And I just thought it was ironic that that particular date was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday booking. I'm like, I wonder who booked that. Those are odd days right there. So we went for the week following that. And so as far as right now, we have that date, but we don't have a deposit down on that date, but that is the date following the normal weekend we would have had BMIU, i.e. had we still been with the University of Michigan. So the hotel is basically kind of holding that I think of what is the third week to around the 20 something of February.
Okay.
So yeah, so they really trying to, other than this financial part about it, as far as everything's related, the hotel is really trying to work with us. They actually prefer to have us than University of Michigan. So I don't know if they got some sour grapes with them or not. I don't know, and then the other part of it is that we're not paying, I guess we kind of are, but we're not paying wages and benefits, for people that just ripping us off, so.
So using University of Michigan's name on tuition assistance, do you know if that's gonna go through or not? Is Eastern gonna support you on approving or using their name to be accredited as an accredited college for the tuition assistance?
Yeah, that part, yeah, we're good on that. We good on that. Other than, the final things that we're working with as far as the conference itself,
Okay.
But, yeah, but no, they're good on that. Other than the same thing we dealing with Morehouse.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the only thing, they have to do, but we have to get all that information together for them to apply, and then of course have the tap suppliers to share that on their tap links, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, I know I'm getting ready to kind of throw a curveball here, but I'm a little nervous about this insurance thing. We know historically that February has always gave us a snowstorm. Since we have the national holiday of Juneteenth now, will we consider making a move to June?
that has been brought up before, and we still ended up with February.
Well, that was before we had the national holiday. We haven't had that discussion since then.
Yeah, no, we have not. Yeah, you are correct with that. But no, we have not. It's just that, we didn't need a national holiday for Juneteenth.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like I say, you remember the last time we had it, it was a it was a snow and an ice event.
Yeah.
And I'm just
But the University of Michigan did not lose any money. They you know how Ford Motor Company lost all that money on them tires, but they didn't lose any money. They just lost the projected money. They didn't lose money. They just lost. Well, we're gonna make X amount of dollars, but they didn't make X amount of dollars. But the money they made, they still was made a profit. So they didn't lose any money.
Firestone had to kick in some money for that too.
Yeah,
that was their fault, not ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm just saying it's basically the same problem. So the insurance thing, I don't have a problem with that part per se. It's just like having another safety net, So we just have to come up with a number, whether it's 100, 200, whatever that. So I'm just trying to alleviate how much liability we would have by having it, whatever it costs. So I mean, if it costs us, I don't know. I mean, eBay, we have liability insurance, and basically we pay almost $500 a year for that. So, and we're not doing that type of gathering where that would come into play. But my point is that just in case something does happen, it's better to be protected than not. And it's not something that we have to have. It was just something that was brought to the discussion. So that was why I kind of like it for that aspect, case the shit do hit the fan, act of God, that we are covered. And so, it's kind of like a win-win. And of course, I'm not, my point is that, we must be protected, as an entity. So, I mean, that's my point, so, Pam?
I have two questions. So my first question, how much is this insurance, or we don't know yet?
I don't know.
Okay. My second question, did we finish getting everything together? I should say you guys, I say we like I did it and I didn't. But for the 501c3, is that established and we're recognized now?
We are a nonprofit right now, but we're tax liable. We do not have the 501c3. I just filled out a few weeks ago that I reported out on. They sent me a questionnaire, basically another 30 questions that they wanted answers to. I filled that out and sent that in. I have not heard from them, but it's the same thing with our chapter. We have not received ours either. And that was done prior to us. We had the same thing with the 501c3. So, but
and Phil, if I could, so essentially, who would sign the contract would be the 503c, right? So they're entering into the business agreement with Eastern Michigan, and God forbid something goes wrong and we don't see it the way it actually plays out. The 503c is the one on the hook, and it could be dissolved if need be, and we'll go do something else or walk away saying, man, I didn't see that one coming, right? Which is very unlikely. But at the end of the day, that's the only thing on the hook. Not Phil, not any of us individually. It's the 503c.
Frank?
All right, I got my Walt hat on. Worst case scenario, insurance. If we get this insurance and we get these 200, just say 225, so we collected our 82,000 and an act of God happens. Do we just keep $82,000 and ain't got to pay shit? And the insurance kicks in if we was to get this insurance. I mean, that's if everything falls, not saying right, correct, or How does that work?
I have not looked at a policy to tell you if that's precisely how it works. You know, that might be a win-win, you know, but
Right,
yeah.
that's why I was saying, that's,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
okay,
Without looking at a policy itself.
okay.
Yeah.
And did you tell them, Phil, that the policy would be associated with the cost of the conference? So we would get that, it would come up across as an expense. So
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
okay.
I did mention that, we were talking about doing that. That was part of the rationale for collecting the
Meals First.
meals first. Yeah.
Hey, Tony, do you know we looking at the top of your head?
That's what yeah. Yeah, I still got it. There you go.
Really?
G Money. I got to unmute, brother. Got to unmute.
You're right. Okay, thank you. Say good evening, everyone. So do we at least have an attorney as an advisor? You know, some of these questions, some of that's a little, you know, may involve some legality. Do we at least have a friendly, quote unquote, friendly attorney, or something that we, you know, pay a small retainer to address some of these concerns that y'all are raising, you know, that we're raising? Have we thought about it?
We don't have one. We don't have one.
Or someone that we could just informally ask some questions, and, you know, they might not, you know, mind giving some general answers to or whatever.
I'm sure with this vast network we have right here in front of us, I'm sure somebody knows somebody.
Okay. Maybe something to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So this discussion right here, what are we looking for out of this conversation here? What action are we looking at so we can move forward?
I think a lot of this discussion that we have, in my eyes, is giving us more clarity when we go back and actually have a conversation with the Eastern and the Marriott as well. You know, so you know, the more things, because you know, we don't, you know, I missed some things that were in the contract and that were brought up to me. It's like, hey, Phil, did you see this part in the contract about X, Y, and Z? I'm like, no, I missed that part. You know, so I'm listening for, you know, any and all missing links that I have not seen. You know, I'm not all knowing, all seeing. You know, so I just, you know, that's why this is a collective. You know, I just happen to be at, you know, in this position, but that doesn't make me, you know, the most knowledgeable person in this organization. I just consider myself a facilitator and just make things happen. You know, so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for your knowledge, Tony's knowledge, Big Dog knowledge, Willie, Kathy, you know, Gerald, Tina, Pam, Frank, Wayne, you know, everybody that's here. You know, I'm looking for, you know, input from you to help make this the best possible thing we can possibly make it. Yeah, I see you, G. I see you, G.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's you know, that's my intent, and that's why, you know, when I was having a conversation with somebody, that, you know, my intent, the way I see it, is that this is Tony has reiterated the fact that, you know, it's bigger than just us doing this one conference, that maybe we can do the whole thing and take it to what I see is the next level, you know. So that's my point, but that's just my vision, you know. So G Money.
No, I was just going to say, reiterate that for those of us who are the collective, if we can identify an attorney, obviously that we should be, let's say go over that contract and make sure that we all, understand, what it's saying and what we're liable to.
Yes, sir. You got something, Wayne?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, Wayne, you gotta mute yourself, 'cause you got too much background noise.
Okay. Excuse myself.
Yeah, so, and that's where we at. That is where we at. So I don't know how much, if you got any more feedback on this or whatever, any more ideas, whatever the case may be, I look forward to, if you think of something in between time, feel free to shoot me a text, email, or whatever. Pamela?
Okay, so I don't have any like miracle ideas, but I think Kathy had a great idea. Maybe someone could reach out to Ed. I could call him, but I don't have the information that you guys do. So maybe one of you could reach out to Ed and have a discussion with him. And we've had a lot of attorneys come in doing workers' comp and other stuff for the conference. Maybe some of them will be willing to give that friendly advice. I know we got Bob Fetter and a couple of the other guys. I don't think they would be that hard to reach. And I'm sure they would at least have one conversation with us.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, I remember having a conversation with the one that actually sponsored the eBay function because of funds was low that they actually paid for. Okay.
So I guess an action item should be for us to get a price for the insurance and then bring it back to the group and see if that's something we want to come up with on the front end and then being reimbursed as a cost item from the conference on the back end.
Yeah, because I mean, they were clear that, when the last conversation me and you had with them, that they would, said definitely, because, when you asked, they definitely was like, okay, well, that should be a shared cost that can come out of the funds from the conference. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I mean, if on that kind of stuff like that, if it's going to be shared, I want our name on top, so.
That was my
So-
reasoning in asking about that 501c3, because I was thinking if we could generate some donation money, we might be able to offset that cost a little bit. I don't know how that works, but I was just trying to help out.
And we still can. The only difference is the difference between now and receiving our letter from IRS as far as the 501c3 is we're tax responsible. So if somebody said, give us money, we're responsible tax-wise for those donations. We're still a nonprofit. We're just not tax exempt.
And before we get the insurance, we'd want to bring it back to this body for a vote.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm doing that. That's not in my role to spend X amount of dollars. Do we have any further discussion on this? Anybody else got any more input?
Had there ever been any conversations about having this conference on campus?
Actually, I think we did talk about it briefly, but not in great detail where, we would be, we're talking dollars or cents.
I believe we shied away from it because, that would be similar to what we were doing at the University of Michigan Dearborn. And we wanted the conference the way that we wanted the conference.
Well, the EMU is going to have some type of consideration. All the stuff that we're going through with Morehouse is hoops that are being not thrown in our way, but hoops that we have to go through just so far as any kind of financial, any kind of money going through the university has to be accounted for and all of that other kind of stuff. And all of this stuff that they're throwing up in front of us, we had not seen before. So they're a little bit, I'm not gonna say they're skittish, but you know, this is their first big conference, and they just want to make sure that everything is done correctly and decent and in order. So it's a lot of things that they're asking from the group that we're not used to. So I'm sure that the EMU is going to have some type of tentacles to, especially when we put in their name, when their name is attached to it.
Linnell?
Brother Phil, and to the body, Common Ground, I put this out there to everybody to look at if we can, well, from the head, from Phil and Tony Toddy, Gordon, you guys get together and give us, if it's possible, can you give us like 3 different scenarios of what it would look like for 100 and the rate to break even, to what it would be like for 225 or even 325, kind of like a 3-part scenario with the overview of the cost and what we can look forward to raising money for, what we be looking at, and also with we got to put in the fact, we understand we got to put in the fact some kind of legal representation, and then what we can stand to gain with each, like a 3-part kind of a thing, as a hypothetically speaking, if this will happen, that will happen. I did like that idea, brother Robinson said about June 19th. All these different things certainly is good options, and if we can have a recap meeting not so far away to discuss this some more, so we can entertain. I would like to put it on the floor as a motion to get 3 to 4 different ideas of raising money. I do realize we're all involved in nearly some of the same things, but in order for this Common Ground Foundation to get up, we're going to need some money. And as we're discussing all these different factors, it sounded like more money is going to be needed. Bottom line.
I hear you, my brother, and I'm gonna show you something that was in the email that our recording secretary sent out. And it's actually exactly what you asked for. If 200% participants, 300 participants, and 450 participants. If you look at the email, you can see what those bottom lines that, based on what's going on now. And that's including the 35%, coming from that's Marriott is taking. So that is there. So this gives us an idea of what the potential is. 200, basically with 200 participants, we can basically walk away with $37,000. 300, we can walk away with $53,000. If we have, 450, we're looking at almost $68,000. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's on the back end. That's on the back end. And so they looked at the numbers too, and that's why. Let me unshare this. When they were talking about, holding back the funds for future conference, I'm just like, oh no, you're not going to take all of our money. Now, if you want to hold back some money, you hold back some of that 35% that you take it and take part of what we got for future conference. And that's a little bit more amenable to me, but once the first conference goes off and is successful, what the problem is in my thinking, okay, you're going to get your 35% and you're going to be good to go. So, let's just make it happen.
And then don't get it twisted. The reason why I said something about June is because by time standards, we're supposed to be having a planning meeting this month, or either early next month. We should be in the planning stages of this conference. we're talking about doing it in February, and right now we don't have a contract. And it's some things that's happening that we aren't, I'm not gonna say we aren't in control of, but we're kind of grinding on the stone right now, you know.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. But,
And
you know,
even if we went in and signed the contract tomorrow, I mean, are we gonna have time to to really plan this conference with all the my favorite word, all the minutia that has to be dealt with?
If y'all gonna eat and put it away. I thought it was
yeah.
fine.
So, yeah, right. So, I mean, that may have to be an option, you know, to do it then. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So,
Out the door.
I agree. You know, that, you know, I don't think we should take anything off the table, but I mean, you know, if it's done, I don't know, you know, we don't have any of our conference coordinators. I don't know if instructors are placed, or, you know, we have the information that for the course description, you know, those your minutia. I don't know if that part's done. So I have no clue, but we'll see. Dana?
With the new guidelines some of these colleges are coming out with, are they going to require that all participants be vaccinated, whatever the case may be? Because I think Eastern did come out and say returning students, but that's at the campus. But they are putting their name on that. So I think if we don't know, we got to find that out going forward.
Yeah.
And that may affect our numbers. You know, some of our brothers and sisters, you know, it's their choice, but
Right.
you know, that could affect the bottom line at the end of the day.
Yeah.
To have a major impact on the conference.
True.
Hey, didn't none of our people vote for Trump?
Frank?
Piggybacking off what Walt said, is it proper to make a motion that you guys, when you talk to Eastern, to look at a possible Juneteenth date, just to, no, because we're not gonna get together again except after Labor Day. So can we look at a potential Juneteenth date with the school, and if the school, you know, with the school and the hotel and everything?
I don't foresee it being a problem with Eastern per se. That I think the only hiccup would be the hotel, and you know, whether or not the hotel is
Right.
available. You know, so because I think, you know, my impression of Eastern is they want that 35% no matter when they get it. You know. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, well, I guess the motion to, look into the hotel and see if they're available Juneteenth weekend.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we need a motion. We just do it. You know?
Yeah, just find out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if things are straight, people have weddings and all kinds of things, graduation parties. If things are getting better, you know, getting back to normal,
Yeah.
June could be pretty busy.
Yeah. Don't know.
For Juneteenth, then Black Lake could be in play again then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, that Juneteenth in 2022 is also Father's Day.
All right, big dog.
Yeah, but I was just seeing that. Yep, falls that Sunday.
Yeah, don't nobody care nothing about that.
I know,
That
we'll
Mother's
never
Day
get
is
nothing.
at the top, and Father's Day is down at the bottom somewhere, you know.
Oh,
After Thanksgiving, Christmas,
oh,
Easter,
Walt.
and
I agree with you, Walter. I agree with you, Walter.
Don't say that, Walter.
April Fool's Day, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Father's Day is somewhere around under there.
Father Day is 5 minutes.
Tigers out of the playoffs day.
Yeah.
It's all there. You're right.
All right. So we got any more? We got any more feedback on that?
No, I mean, Tony, since you were in the conversation, is there anything else that you're that you need from this conversation?
No, it's just with the insurance. If we're going to do that, get the cost, bring it back to the body, and take the vote. Since we don't have that much into the 503C, other than, I mean, a lot of thought, a lot of ideas and everything else, if it were to go under, we could create it again under something else. But year after year, and this is what we're telling them, and it's interesting because we keep on seeing, you know, just like with Morehouse, right? We got to convince them, hey, believe us, believe us. We're doing the same thing with Eastern, except Morehouse is more concerned about their reputation and Eastern's more concerned about the money. But they're all concerned the same way. We know what we're capable of, and we're going to fight even harder to make this a success because now our reputation's on the line, right?
Mhm.
We could do this. We'll be all right. We do have to, you know, address their concerns and their, you know, whatever, their insecurities on this, but we know what we do. And this will be a successful event. But we do have to work through these issues and it's making us a better unit as well by having to respond to them and answer to their questions, because we have to focus in on our business more to explain it to them. So this is making us sharper. We'll get
Mhm.
through this. We should be proud of who we are, our history, and the fact that we know, and we're having the conversations, and Phil's explaining it beautifully to them, and they understand. It's just the people that they have to respond to. But you know, I never have a problem with looking at our business plan and everything else, and becoming better business people for our brand. So we'll be all right. I have no worries about that. We just got to jump through a couple hoops and we'll be right there.
So let me add a couple, let me say this, Tony, as Walter stated, yes, Morehouse is worried about their reputation, but they're also worried about their money. They've had to put up a deposit to the hotel in order for us to reserve rooms for the hotel. Eastern hasn't, I haven't heard you say the Eastern is doing that. And I don't know if that's a requirement, being our first time out. But they had to put up thousands of dollars to the hotel for us to reserve the 300 rooms that we're holding right now. But they're looking at the numbers now that they're starting to come in, and they're feeling a little bit more comfortable with it. But they're trusting those of us from the north end, the north side, that's telling them what we have done and how it has been and what we are capable of doing. So they're feeling a lot better now, and things are starting to move now for us. But that is a concern. It's not just a reputation. But you also mentioned about us becoming accredited something a few minutes ago, and you said that we can be accredited, but we cannot be we're not an accredited college. Eastern is. So in order for tuition assistance to be reimbursed to the college, it has to be affiliated with an accredited college. So I just wanted to clear that, because you did say that we can become accredited. We cannot become accredited. We're not.
No, I didn't say tomorrow or whatever. Ultimately, right?
We cannot be accredited. We're not an institution, period.
Right.
The organization is an organization, a 501c3 organization, not an accredited college where you have an accreditation from the federal government as an institution.
Correct. That is right now in today's terms. We don't know what we could turn into.
Okay.
Okay, so if there's nothing else on that, do we have any more old business? Nope. New business? Nope. Good and welfare, Kathy?
All right. So far, is that we are moving forward. I don't know if hopefully you've already received the poster that we sent out with the list of workshops. They are sending that out to all the unions, and we are getting more support from not just UAW, but several other unions. So I think this is going to be a pretty good sizable conference. But beside that, they've added another workshop that's not listed on your poster. They've added another workshop number 11. So now there's 12 workshops, 11 for everybody, And then the 12th one is for the youth, but the one that they added is with Bill Fletcher. And I don't have the title in front of me. I will send it out to all of you as soon as they give me the document with the information on it. But he wants to teach his class by himself. And you all know, if you don't know who Bill Fletcher is, or somebody may be able to tell you who he is outside of me, but I have never had a workshop with him, but he is real heavy in the labor movement and well known across the country. Anyway, there's Bill Fletcher. So he's workshop number 11. And I know he's talking about the racism and the Trumpism. And so I'll send that information out. We will be asking everyone to show their vaccination card. And if you are not or have not, for whatever reason, have had your shots, you will be tested, either tested, what'd you call it test? Walter had a name for the test in the nose.
Talk about the brain tickler.
Okay, either that way
Yeah, the
or
brain tickler.
being screened every day with the checking your temperature, doing temperature checks. One way or the other, we got to make sure that everybody is safe at the conference. We have had a lot of seniors that are really concerned about those that are coming. We are expecting a bigger crowd now that they're adding a Black Women's round table workshop that's outside of our structure, but they'll be partnering with us as an extra event. And also there's been some other discussion on bringing some well-known speakers into the conference, but everybody that comes in to the conference will have to be either vaccinated already or available or agreeable to get the vaccination or be tested one way or the other throughout the conference. Walter and Phil, working with the host committee, will be putting that together and working with some of you that may be interested in being on that committee. And I know that we will be asking a few of our North people to be facilitators. And so I don't know yet what that list is gonna look like, but if you're interested in being a facilitator, let Phil know or put it in the chat so that we can make sure that we contact you if we need you. We only need 4 from the north side. There's gonna be 4 from the north side, 4 from the south, and then 4 Morehouse students. There's a program with Morehouse, so they want to be facilitators. So the north only gets 4 slots.
These are in the classes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All the workshops are filled now with instructors. There's 2 instructors and a facilitator. The hotel. They opened up the hotel for people that may want to come in on Wednesday. And if you want to stay over on Sunday, but you need to do that right away. They only had a few, they only opened up a few rooms, but if we need to add more, we will, but we didn't want to add a big number and then nobody's interested in coming because I had some people say they wanted to come in early. So if you have reservations for Thursday through Sunday and you want to come in earlier or stay another, few days later, and you need to make those changes, I suggest you either call the hotel or let one of us know so that we can make the changes or contact the hotel. Let me know so I can make the changes with the hotel and get you your accommodations the way that you want them. I know that we had 356 rooms reserved for over the 3-day, 4-day, 5-day period, and they were already over half rooms. So if anybody need to get a room, I suggest that you get your room soon. And at least it's better to cancel it than to try to get it and then you can't get it because the hotel is filling up now since they are releasing, open up a little bit due to COVID. They are opening up the hotel a little bit more. Beyond that, I can't think of anything else unless someone has some questions for me. I'm getting rained on, that's why I'm moving.
You're still in Houston?
No, now I'm in Indiana. I was sitting outside to start the thunder and get a little dark out here. Now the rain's coming down. So now we got back this morning from Houston.
Appreciate what you're doing, Kathy.
Thank you. But anyway, if you have any questions for me, let me know. Let Phil know. Phil, the souvenir books. Phil, you can talk about that.
What?
Souvenir
Oh,
book.
yeah, right. Yeah, I knew it was something. Yeah, so we're taking yours truly is responsible for the north end of the souvenir booklet. And so it'd be a good place to get our name out and actually have a souvenir ad in that booklet for the upcoming conference in Atlanta. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I thought about it then, I forgot about it just that quick. So yeah, I will. I am just to let you know, I'm going to purchase an ad for Common Ground. You know, because I mean, we don't have no money.
Oh,
So
oh.
yeah.
Don't look like you need, don't look like you need no bigger coffee can, Frank.
Actually, it probably get smaller if you're not taking no money out of it. Yeah.
Remember, the color of that top is different. It ain't the benevolent fund top.
Right. Yeah.
And then Walter has the entertainment for the night.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets so wet.
Mr. DJ.
I got the host committee along with Phil. I got the entertainment committee.
Hospitality.
And hospitality, that's part of the host committee.
Oh.
And I have a workshop to put together.
And the
So it's gonna
facilitator.
be a busy weekend.
And the facilitator training.
Yeah, and the facilitator training. So I'm just hoping I'll be able to get out so I can try some of these chicken wings they keep talking about.
No, Walter, you won't be.
Not till Sunday night.
Right.
I don't know, that place might not be open on Sunday night.
Yeah, all these Negroes gonna be in town. Yeah, they're gonna be open. Yeah.
Hey, Walter.
Magic City is open 7 days a week, Walter.
That's where
Hey,
the chicken
Walter.
wings at.
No, you
That's
go
a
to
funny
that.
name for a chicken. That's a funny
That's where you
name
get-
for a chicken
That's where you get
joint.
you get the lemon pepper from there. You get the best lemon pepper from Magic City.
No, you go try the moonshine chicken.
Oh my goodness.
If you all
That's
don't
a
have any
fun-
more questions for me, I'm going inside.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
wet.
All
All
right.
right,
Thank you
All right.
thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, I'll be going to Rays on the River while you playing.
Yes, Magic City is a funny name for a chicken joint.
Whew, okay. So, anybody else got any more good and welfare?
Wow.
Motion to adjourn.
Most supported.
There's a motion to adjourn, properly second. There is no discussion. All in favor, say motion signify by aye. Opposed, vote with your feet. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the conversation. I do.
Next meeting time. Next date.
Next meeting, second Sunday every month, brother. Second Sunday every
Okay,
month.
second Sunday.
Second Sunday.
Second city, second
Yeah.
Sunday.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Lynette.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All righty.
Right, big dog.
All right.
See you, everybody.
All righty.
All right.
Stop the recording. Recording stop.